Hello everybody, it's Jamie from Old Shipping Lines and welcome back to a new video. Now in today's video we'll be talking about a mysterious tale, as we shall be talking about the disappearance of the SS Bannockburn. Now the vessel was a Canadian registered steel-hulled freighter. She was owned by the company Montreal Transportation Company of Montreal in Quebec. She would be built by the shipbuilders Sir Railton Dixon and Company in Middlesbrough in England. Now the gross tonnage of this vessel would be 1,620 gross registered tons, with her length being 245 feet, and she had a breadth of 40.1 feet. The vessel would be launched in 1893. Now the ship would be in a few incidents before her infamous disappearance. On the morning of the 15th of October 1897, under the command of Captain John Irving, she was carrying grain and headed for Kingston, Ontario from Chicago, Illinois. Unfortunately, she hit the wing wall of lock number 17 of the Welland Canal, which caused her to spring a leak. As a result, she sank to the bottom of the shallow canal and took on 9 feet of water before finally coming to a stop. Fortunately, there were no casualties and the ship was eventually raised. Now, she had also been badly damaged several months prior. The ship sustained significant damage when she ran aground near Snake Island Light on the 27th of April while traveling at full speed. Despite losing 30,000 bushels of grain cargo, the ship managed to remain afloat, and fortunately no lives were lost. However, her forefoot and frame suffered severe damage as a result. The final voyage of the Bannockburn began at the Canadian lakehead near what is now called Thunder Bay, under command of Captain George R. Wood. She was downbound, carrying 58,000 bushels of wheat, departing the city of Fort William on the 20th of November 1902 and heading for Georgian Bay. The ship did partially run aground, but fortunately she did not appear to suffer any damage on her way out to the open lake. Due to her delay, her departure was pushed back by 1 day, and finally recommenced her voyage on the 21st. During the same day, Captain James McCaw of the upbound Algonquin, another lake freighter, caught sight of the Bannockburn through binoculars. She was located roughly 7 miles to the southeast of him, around 80 miles off Keweenaw Point and approximately 40 miles off Isle Royale. He was well acquainted with her profile, and he stated that he viewed her several times over the course of a few minutes to note her progress, which was very nearly on course. But at some point he tried to locate her and was taken back when he couldn't find her. He attributed her sudden disappearance to the slightly foggy weather and shrugged it off. That night, a strong winter storm swept across Lake Superior. The crew of the Huronic, a passenger steamer also sailing through the lake at 11 p.m., spotted lights on a passing ship that they suspected to be the Bannockburn. Despite the stormy conditions, no distress signals were detected, and the ships safely passed each other without any mishap. The Bannockburn was reported overdue the following morning at the Sow Locks, but given the weather the previous night, this was not considered unusual. However, as days passed without any communication, concerns grew that the ship may have been lost. On the 25th of November, the ship named John D. Rockefeller sailed through a patch of floating debris near Stannard Rock Light. It was suspected that the debris might belong to the missing ship Bannockburn. However, at that time, the Bannockburn was not yet reported as lost, and the crew of the John D. Rockefeller were unaware of what caused the debris field. By the 30th of November, the ship and her crew were declared officially lost. Under the mounting pressure from the worried families of the crew, Mr. L. L. Henderson, a manager of the Montreal Transportation Company, claimed on the 26th of November that he had received a wire from the Chicago office of the Underwriters Association, which provided insurance coverage for the ship. The message, as told to the Fort William Times-Journal, read: "The steamer Bannockburn has been located on the north shore of Lake Superior. Crew safe." However, he later confessed that he had no concrete evidence of the ship's whereabouts, but rather had based his hopeful statement on hearsay from the Germanic, another freighter, which claimed to have seen her safely anchored there. However, it was later disclosed that those statements were untrue. Upon contacting and interrogating the crew of the Germanic, they had no recollection of ever coming across a stranded vessel and were unable to justify their report. After some investigation, the underwriters determined that the Bannockburn had run aground on Caribou Island. The island is encircled by a treacherous reef, and the lighthouse had been deliberately switched off on the 15th of November. Had the Bannockburn's captain been anticipating the illumination of the warning light during the storm on the 21st, the sole indication of the ship's approach would have been the sudden impact of the hull hitting the reef. On Friday, the 12th of December, the captain of the Grand Marais life-saving station found a cork life preserver from the Bannockburn, washed upon the beach. This item is the only known wreckage from the ship ever to have been recovered. There are many theories as to what went wrong. The Bannockburn could have experienced a boiler explosion. However, No evidence of such an explosion was discovered along the route she traveled, and no charted wreckage was found either. Now, another probable cause could have been the Superior Shoal, which was uncharted at that time. At the end of the season, a hull plate from a ship was discovered in the lock when the sowlocks were drained. It was believed to belong to the Bannockburn, and its absence would have created an unknown weak point on her hull. Although it's uncertain where exactly the Bannockburn ultimately came to rest, it is certain that the vessel was sunk by a storm that occurred on the 21st of November or the 22nd of November. The ship had been previously damaged during her voyage due to a supposed grounding, and earlier that season due to another grounding. It's possible that the weakened state of the Bannockburn made it unable to withstand the storm, which ultimately resulted in the vessel sinking and taking the 20 crew members with her. Since we have yet to locate the wreck, we can only theorize about the fate of the ship. However, the ship would earn the nickname Flying Dutchman of the Great Lakes. On stormy nights, several sailors claimed to have seen the Bannockburn steaming her way down Lake Superior, her lamps blinking in the storm, while in the darkened pilot house her captain looked vainly for the welcoming flash of the Caribou Island light.
And that is the end to a video. Thank you all so very much for watching. I appreciate the support. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. That would help out the channel a lot. And don't forget to click on the video suggested here in the outro, as I'm sure you will enjoy that one as well. Now, if you have any comments or thoughts on this video, please leave them in the comment section down below. As well, what ships you would like me to cover next. Now, with that out of the way, guys, I wish you all a good night or day wherever you are, and we will see each other on the next video. Goodbye, my friends.